Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hivemind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Now, when describing the Biden administration and their handling of the economy, or specifically their messaging in relation to current economic conditions, I keep making the metaphor that it's kind of like a doctor that just isn't really giving you a good diagnosis, or isn't being real with you, isn't telling you how sick you really are, and just how bad that is for your potential recovery down the line. And all the American people I think want at this point, what probably most people are thinking is, give it to me straight, doc. Please, for one friggin' second, be honest. Tell us what's really going on. Give us the reality so we can at least prepare. Well, now, apparently, Janet Yellen admits that we're probably heading into a recession. Well, kind of. She's literally contradicting herself, saying, well, I don't think we're seeing a recession, possibly a slowdown, but at the same time we're seeing a recession, and most economists are predicting a recession, and technically 2 quarters of economic contraction is a recession, but we're probably not seeing a recession. These people are out of their damn minds. The Biden recession is here, and actually, luckily enough, for this video, we have a sponsor, a company that can help you survive and thrive through the Biden recession by investing in gold and silver. Take a look at this. Listen, friends, inflation. We're talking about record-setting inflation that's absolutely hammering everyday Americans. And now the situation we're facing is possibly even more grim. Not only runaway hyperinflation, but a possible recession right around the corner as the Fed continues to increase interest rates, or probably the best way to say it, a Biden recession. Well, folks, in troubled economic times, you need to protect your wealth and you need to protect your future. And that's why I'm teaming up with the only precious metal dealers that I trust, American Hartford Gold. They can show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and physical silver. And the best part is that it's easy. All it takes to get started is one short phone call, and they'll have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or inside your IRA or 401k. And you know that you can trust American Hartford Gold because they're the highest rated firm in the country, with an A+ rating from the BBB and thousands of satisfied clients. And on top of all of it, as an exclusive offer for this community, they'll give you up to $1,500 of free silver and a free safe on qualifying orders. So don't wait, folks. Call them now at 844-440-1005. That's 844-440-1005. Or text Hivemind to 65532. Again, that's Hivemind to 65532. A huge thank you to American Hartford Gold. Now back to the video. Alright, friends, so if copium could have a face, well, this is the face of copium. US economy is slowing, but recession is not inevitable, Janet Yellen says. And this isn't Janet Yellen from 2 weeks ago or a month ago. This is Janet Yellen armed with all of the new data 4 days before the first GDP prediction will be released on July 28. Still pushing nothing but garbage Biden admin copium. US Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said on Sunday that US economic growth is slowing and acknowledged that there was the risk of recession, but she said a downturn was not inevitable. So essentially the official stance at the Biden White House is, well, no need to panic, folks. A recession isn't inevitable. There's always possibility of a miracle. I mean, that's essentially what I'm seeing. Janet Yellen later said this.
GDP will be closely watched. A common definition of recession is 2 negative quarters of GDP growth, or at least that's something that's been true in past recessions. When we've seen that, there has usually been a recession. And many economists expect second quarter GDP to be negative. First quarter GDP was negative.
Many economists are predicting a second quarter of GDP contraction. And what she means by many economists is most. And whatever economists are predicting positive GDP are either paid Democrat shills, copium experts, or just seeing something that we aren't. But continuing on what I said earlier, the official statement from the White House right now is, we're hoping and praying that things aren't as bad as they seem they are, as they continue to completely ignore most of the economic data that's signaling a big economic downturn, not just in the second quarter, but moving forward. Messaging has been nothing but, don't pay attention to all of the doomsayers, folks. Things are gonna be fine. And over again, things never turn out fine, now do they? The Biden administration for the past 4 or 5 months have been saying that inflation peaked and we're now going back to 2%, predicting a quote soft landing. Not exactly sure how you go from 9% inflation, or at the time 8% inflation, inflation down to 2% in a short period of time naturally with a soft landing doesn't exactly make sense to me. But of course, it's been nothing but Biden administration copium. Things are just going to magically fix themselves, they keep telling us. But more importantly, it's been nothing but bad predictions and misleading and misguiding the American people for the past 12 months. And let me guess, after last month's 9.1% inflation report, what Biden administration officials are probably saying during their media tour ahead of next week's financial release bonanza is that we're most likely at the tip and now inflation is going to go down.
Has inflation peaked?
I think probably.
Has inflation peaked? Biden Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo says, I think probably. Oh, well, there you have it, folks. The most technically analytical response that you could possibly imagine. I think probably. The same garbage they've been saying for however many months. Oh, well, I think probably inflation has peaked. Oh, well, I think probably we aren't going to see a second quarter of negative growth. We're probably not heading into a recession. You're probably going to be all right. But of course, reality and very important data and metrics are telling a completely different story, and this administration continues to lie and mislead ahead of the 2022 midterms. What they're doing is absolutely reprehensible, once again for me at least. I personally believe it is evil. They are misleading hardworking American middle-class people into thinking everything's okay until the rug is pulled from under them. Atlanta Fed GDP prediction, which is incredibly accurate, on their latest report is showing a latest estimate of negative 1.6 GDP contraction. They're very rarely wrong, and when they are, it's not by much. Now, I would take this number with a grain of salt, just because they have a new report coming on July 27th, the morning before the official GDP prediction from the federal government, the U.S. Department of Commerce Bureau of Economic Analysis. Things are really not looking good, but this administration continues to sugarcoat everything and tell you everything's looking great, folks. Maybe a small little slowdown moment, and then we're going to get right back into the historic bull run that we've experienced since 2008. That's what they want you to believe. But again, the data is telling a completely different story. We have this right over here from the Philadelphia Fed. Manufacturing activity in the region declined overall in July according to the firms responding to this month's Manufacturing Business Outlook survey. This right here is really bad, mainly because the summer is supposed to be an economic boom. But what we're possibly seeing here is a shrinking economy and bad economic numbers in the summertime. Imagine what's going to happen in November, October. Imagine how bad things can get if people's 401ks continue to tank, as markets tank, earnings start to tank, people's wages are down, cost of living is up, cost to borrow money is up, people's savings are down, debt is up, people are forced into a position where they can't afford their liabilities anymore, foreclosures are up, car repos are up, and we're starting to see layoffs, especially in the tech sector. It's possible that the summer economic rush is masking a lot of the bad data and a lot of the bad news. The only thing this administration has going for it is the June jobs report adding 372,000 jobs. Well, it's very possible that once again is just the summer rush. People working 2 jobs in the summer, people getting off school and possibly joining the labor market to earn some cash during the summer. My view is that if next week GDP comes out negative and earning reports start to underperform, especially in the tech world, which I think might actually be inevitable considering how low ad rates are right now, folks. This isn't me complaining that I'm making less money or anything like that, but the reality is Q2 ad spending has been absolutely horrendous. Every single YouTuber is making around 30 to 40%, in some cases 50 to 60% less than they were in 2021. Ad rates have absolutely plummeted because companies aren't spending money on ads, at least not as much as they were. Well, if that translates to a bad economic quarter for Meta or Facebook and Google, and possibly Shopify and some other companies out there, well, we're going to see a very red market. And once mass market capitulation starts to take effect, and then we start to see layoffs in a slowing economy heading into the start of the winter, or rather into the fall, we could be seeing some very, very dark times. And while of course this is all speculative, we don't know exactly what's going on. The point is, and what's so incredibly frustrating, is that the Biden administration continues to pretend as if the possibility that I'm describing doesn't actually exist and everything's totally fine. And don't worry, they're doing a disservice to the American public by not informing them about the possible grim economic outlook that Americans might be facing over the next 2 years. Honestly, I hope it doesn't happen, but it might, and you should at least be prepared for it. That, however, is what I got for you guys for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like. I'm going to get back to work. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.